very good evening, and thank you so much yet again for joining us on Uctv. My name is Noro Sende, and as usual, every Sunday we get to discuss some of the issues that are making headlines or topical discussions, basically things that we want to bring to our attention, important issues that have happened in our country, or people that are making a difference really in our country. I'm talking about people that are making a difference in our country. I can't help but talk about this very wonderful innovation. I mean, we know that our country really needs more than anything else, and that's innovation. And so we have a gentleman in studio right now that has come up with a very wonderful project. And this project could be a solution to so many things, including the problem of plastics. Now, Peter Kato is actually a gentleman who is using plastic and turning it into fuel. How he does that and why he does that is a question that he himself can answer. And Peter, thank you so much for coming.
It's a pleasure, Nora, for hosting me here. And I still remain Peter Kato, and given this opportunity, I'm so grateful and honored to be just one among the panelists to be invited here.
Nice.
Thank you, please.
Nice. So we discovered your innovation in the oil and gas expo or exhibition that recently happened, and it is a very interesting innovation. If you can just tell us how this came into your mind, really.
It coming in my mind, I would say it wasn't that much direct. First and foremost, it was a clip in one of my list of things I wanted to do for an exhibition.
Right.
Some 1 year ago, during the Chambogo, we had some exhibition called STEAM Festival, and one of the doctors, Dr. Savannah, was invited me to come up with a new project, of which I tried to think something outside the box. And my problem was, I was taking some water in the library, and I was looking at the bottle, and I was trying to ask myself, how can I solve this problem, which has been a rampant problem. Now, until finally, we have seen one of its biggest problems, where we saw the landslides, mainly coming from trash, which is at Kitezi. And I take personally my sincere gratitude for the saying, we are so in deep sorrow with you people. We are sorry for this tragedy, but there is an alternative solution. We cannot provide a solution to everything, but at least we can do our best to those we can.
Yes, indeed, do our best. And you've talked about thinking outside the box. You really thought outside the box. Of all things, plastics being turned into fuel, I think that can be a real game changer. But when we talk about that, I think that sometimes people can't help but wonder that can you just explain to us the process of turning fuel into plastic? I mean, how does this really work? Give us the basics that even someone out there can understand what this means really.
Okay, actually, according to this process, the one of pyrolysis, actually we call it pyrolysis in layman, and it has been taught to some schools, but it's like teaching you what is condensation, but condensation, you can't put it in most of our day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Because, for example, when you put more milk, if you have milk at home and add more water, it gets diluted. So the problem is, how do you make the milk to go back to its normal state? Just making sure that you heat it up and it evaporates. So this is the same process. I got a combination of many processes. Of course, with some new ideas, had to bend some laws to make sure that actually not only bending them, but working them in their own principles to come up with something new. So besides this, what I did with this project, I tried to get the plastic. Not only do I use plastic, but I use also many things. In the absence of plastic, I can use waste car tires. And at the same time, also I can use the engine car oils. So, but mainly I use plastics. According to this plastic, it has been a rampant problem. And people, we have been keeping quiet. Budgets have not been passed. And we have been taking this lightly until yesterday. Things happened. And we realized that actually having a lot of trash, which cannot degrade, it's actually a bigger problem. According to my process, I have a limited number of processes that I can easily explain here. First and foremost, I get this plastic, and I get it and I shred it up. When I shred it up, this plastic, I get it up and I put it in one of my chambers, which I call the incinerators. When I put it in these incinerators, first and foremost, I always ask people, when you burn this rubbish, for example, the plastic waste, when you burn, like, for example, Kavela, which is an example, when you burn this plastic on the dustbin, which color do you see off? And some people always say that they see off a black suit. And I'm like, Actually, there is a certain step you miss when you're watching it when it's burning. When you burn this plastic, you see of a colorless gas. That colorless gas now burns with the oxygen to give you now the black soot. Now that colorless gas is the fuel, because first and foremost, most of the plastics we get them from crude oil, which is the byproduct, which is the raw product. So that's what we process to get in the different products like petrol, diesel, ethanol, etc. and the jet fuel. Now in this, I'm getting now the plastic. It's because we have had measures where you say that you can get the plastic, you reuse it. You can get the plastic, for example, you make decoration bags, or you can make it for irrigation tanks you get. But we have never had a total elimination method where you get plastic and eliminate it to ash without polluting the environment. Take a look at this. When you get plastic and burn it in the environment, actually it's doing more harm than the good. Actually, we even don't call that actually elimination, we call it polluting. So according to me, according to my exhibition and according to my science and the innovation of the new prototype and the innovation I came up with, take a look at this. I had to make sure that I get the gas which I burn in the, from the plastic. Now without polluting the environment, that is the gas I'm using to get the fuel. Now when I get this fuel, now I'm getting the plastic and converting it back to its original form. Where did we get it from? Some of the products of crude oil. So I'm turning it back to crude oil. Now instead of making now another plastic, I get the same biodiesel that I'm calling synthetic biodiesel. Now I make other fuels instead of making the plastic.
Interesting, really.
It's a pleasure.
Interesting, and I think that is really out of the box, like you said. It's very interesting because when we talk about burning plastics, the first thing that comes into our mind is basically the pollution of the environment and how it is discouraged. But we're saying like you're using the same processes, to actually clean up, right? Clean up the environment. Right?
Exactly.
And I just need to know what kind of types of fuel are typically used in this conversion process.
Basically, the types of fuels, I would say I don't mainly use fuels because I'm getting the same plastic to convert it into fuel, this original form. Actually, I get the plastic and add in my hidden science, my hidden secret chemistry. Now, this is the important one, to purify, increase on the purity, but also increase at the burning rate, and also increase on the product production. So when I get this plastic and I add in my whatsoever hidden science, I burn it in a controlled chamber. Somebody told me, isn't your project polluting the environment? And I was like, according to this project, when you burn plastic, everyone has it in mind that actually plastic is polluting the environment. And my point is, whatever you're calling whatever is polluting the environment is the gas. Now the gas is what I'm collecting, because now when I construct that company and is producing that smoke, trust me, that is me, according to me. Let's say if I was not having the heart of caring for the environment, but whoever is my investor, that is wastage of resources, because actually the gas is the fuel I'm collecting. So when it evaporates, trust me, billions of money are evaporating. So that's the gas I'm collecting, purify it, condense it, package it, and give it to you. One, I create petrol from plastic. The natural petrol we use even in our car. And also I get diesel besides that. But also I get jet fuel, I get ethanol, I get natural gas. The natural gas, you ask me, Kato, what are you saying about the natural gas? I would call it natural gas because one, the gas I produce is 99% non-toxic, but 99% highly flammable. So it's the gas we use at home for for cooking our products. So it's the same gas I also produce in the same product. But I totally, instead of now, according to this process, because I make sure that there is no oxygen. Why? We agreed on one thing. That when you burn a plastic, you say black soot. So I'm making sure that there is no black soot production, because that means my fuel will be used up. So I'm making sure that I get that gas before it reacts. Now that's the gas I'm condensing, purifying, modifying, and giving it to you, the one which you use in your car. According to that, somebody was like, no, Kato, you can't have any plastic combustion or plastic burning and you don't produce any gas. And I told them, the thing is, yes, but the gas I get out is the gas I've purified, and I've made sure that it doesn't have what we call pollutants, because it's the gas which I'm going to package for you in your gas cylinders. It's the gas I get out the end. So in all process, whatever you call waste, I call it a raw material.
Oh, yeah.
Because in most cases, when we are eating food, we always leave bones on the plate. This is because the bones have no use to us. But let me tell you, when you give the dogs the bones, they see it as a raw material. Actually, they see it as food. So whatever you call as a waste, it's because you don't have use for it.
Yeah.
When you have an old cloth and you just dump it because you see it like actually garbage, because you have no use for it. But until you give it to a person who is in need, he sees value in it.
So these things that we tend to call waste are actually very useful one way or the other. And that is exactly what you're using to actually make fuel.
Exactly.
Very interesting there. How has the few people or the interactions that you've had, how has this innovation been welcomed or received?
Wow. Nora, thank you. According to that, I've been on quite a number of exhibitions and expos. Now, first and foremost, the prototype and the technology I'm using, it has never been used. So in most cases, not so, but most human beings, every time we fear to explore, because in exploration, since we value life, in exploration we think there is one deal, death. Because that's why we always have that bias of giving it a try. But take a look at this. When you give it a try, first and foremost, the experiment and the prototype I'm giving you is the prototype I have tested. Not only I have tested, I've given also to some doctors and professors to verify.
Right.
Because you may say, Kato, you have given it a final conclusion and you're saying it is safe to use, but you seem to be young. No, young is not knowledge. Yeah, and actually even maturity is not knowledge. Although they told us that with experience, it comes with age. But trust me, not all. Nowadays, does not mean that when you are old, you are experienced. That's never the case. The world we are in, how much are you exposed to? Now, according to what I did, I made sure that I verify it, because at the Chambogo, we have what we call a chemistry lab. So I had to make sure that I test all those components before I qualify them to say that they are good materials to be used on our roads. First and foremost, they have almost limited carbon emission. I can't say there's zero carbon emission because they're fuels. But according to the fuels we use on the ground, trust me, I have tested them. You may be surprised for the details and the outcomes we got. Right. It has almost, because take a look at this. When we are purifying, when we are getting these fuels from the crude oil, the crude oil is black. And it has a lot of carbon emission. Now, according to mine, what I'm calling the crude oil, the synthetic oil, where I'm getting all my different products, it's never black. First and foremost, it looks like petrol, the color of petrol, like brownish, like pinkish reddish. So this, trust me, when we tested for it, it has almost less, not zero, but it had less carbon emission compared to the standards that we have on the market. So trust me, not only is it solving problems of like environmental pollution, but also we have a lot of plastic. Because first and foremost, take a look at this. Somebody told me, actually plastic is non-biodegradable. And I would say, no, plastic is biodegradable because it comes from fossils. It can degrade, but it takes a longer time. You get. Now that's why when we have dumping, the funny bit in Uganda, we had the cases here, we had many measures. But when they are collecting this plastic and they are collecting the waste, there's what we call municipal waste, and there's what we call industrial waste. So when they are getting all, like for example, when they get your leftovers for the food, and they get also the caveras, they just mix everything. And then when they're taking it, they just dump it at Kitezi. Right. But if we had measures of separating what is plastic waste and what is the biodegradable. Now you give me all the remaining plastic, because in my process, not only I use only the soft, there's what we call this thermoplastic and the thermosetting. We have the plastic that once you hit it, it does melt. I use it, and it's the most common on market. For example, the bottles we use, the chairs we sit on, most of the cups we use, all those plastics, the ones which we use for packaging of our drugs, most things, when you burn them, they do melt. But you have even the plastic, for example, which makes the socket. When you get this plastic, actually, when you hit it, you can be surprised. It does not melt. It just cracks. Right. But in all, I eliminate both plastics. I use all in the same process.
Right.
Thank you.
So that actually, you kind of answered the question that I wanted to follow up with, which is there a specific kind of plastic that you actually use? But I think you have hinted on it, unless you want to add a little bit on that. But I think when it comes to plastic, you've said you use the one that melts very fast. Right? Actually,
not only I use both plastics. Actually, I use all plastics, because mainly we can categorize them under, we have thermal self-softening plastic, the one which you heat it can soften up, it can melt. Then we have that one which I told you, once you hit it, it does cracking. Now, how often do you see a trash or a dust bin having a lot of socket plastic? It is rare. It is rare on market. But the most plastics we have, the bottles we take. We take in our soda, we take in our water. Let me tell you, however much we pass these bills every day, every morning, let me tell you, there is no country that is going to wake up one morning and they say there is no using of plastic. We can eliminate the maximum use of plastic because first and foremost, the cars we are driving right now, they are covered up by plastic. First and foremost, everything we are using now, we no longer now make full forks, like a fork from the head to the tail. It's made up of a metallic one. It has some part of plastic. Or whatever we put on, not either everything we wear. Our shoes have some part of plastic. Every component we have, we can't eliminate plastic. The problem is, can we have a suitable measure of how we solve this plastic? And that is when my project came in. Because trust me, people have tried to get this plastic, remodel it, reuse it, give it value. But how many buildings have you seen being built with plastic? Right. Because let me tell you, we use these things for decoration, but there is a lot of plastic being dumped. So according to my project, I give you 0 plastic. Give me the plastic, let me make you the money, I give you the fuels that you need. Because let me tell you, we are beating many birds with one stone. Take a look at this. We have high prices of fuels. Because a liter of fuel, let me say petrol, it is 5,500. Let me tell you, I can sell you mine at a cheaper price. First and foremost... Have you
started selling it, by the way, if I may ask?
Actually, I've given it to some people to use it, and we see how the engine works. And trust me.
And what is the feedback?
My God, it is a miracle coming soon. And I was surprised. Let me tell you, you can work on something, and also you can be shocked. But let me tell you, numbers never lie. But also when God is on your side, everything works smoothly.
So the feedback has been...
My God, I can't even explain it.
Yes.
My God, the values only are tremendous. Take a look at this. Because when in producing 1 liter of, let me say, of petrol from crude oil, it costs you 3,200. In the purification, the packaging, the transportation, to bring it at your doorhouse. And that's when they make it at 5,500 because it's scarce. Me to produce only 1 liter, it costs me 1,700 from plastic. And I'm giving you a more improved plastic, but I'm putting in less to purify it. And at the same time, I'm eliminating it. Not only that, we are solving problems like, let me tell you, as we are going in many years ahead of us, in 2020, so far right now we're in 2020, the moment we go in 2030, the carbon emissions are being more. Why are they coming from plastic? We are digging more crude oil, and we are burning up this carbon when it is in its high concentrated form. So it goes in the sky, it causes more global warming. But not only that, we're having more cancer issues. Cancers are rising like nothing. Because right now you can find, you are so surprised that in our years when we used to grow, when those people even who came before us, our grandparents, you could never see a kid of 4 years having cancer. Actually, cancer coming from where? You're like, you are so young to have cancer. Right now we have kids with 2 years but having cancer. That this thing can even start, you get it and you start inheriting it from one generation to another. How? The environment we stay in. But mainly, let's take a look at our home ground here, Uganda. Because let me tell you, we are keeping quiet about this issue. And let me tell you, my project has been moving. And until today, the world must know. Uganda has to wake up. Don't look at how people, hi, Katai want money. No, let's take a look at the environment. Take a look at Kitezi. Many acres of land are being gazetted. Right. That's why we are dumping this plastic. And my aim is, when you are dumping this plastic, we don't separate this waste. And this waste, we keep on piling. It does not decompose. It keeps on piling until the environment was tired of us. Right. Kitez was like, the land Kitez was like, no, we are tired of this dumping, and it had to
So Peter, you've talked a lot about the benefits that come with this innovation.
Exactly.
And we've seen you have brought it and intertwined it with the catastrophe or disaster that happened in Kiteze due to the garbage that piled up that led to a landfill. And so we just need to understand that much as there are so many benefits that this can bring up, what are some of the challenges that this innovation has? Or what have you felt that is a challenge for you with this innovation or this new technology?
Because according to my project, it's a petrol production process. Right. And it is a factory which involves on producing fuels. With fuels, when you're dealing with fuels, it has some tricky and unexpected outcomes, first and foremost. When you're dealing with fuels, it has issues with fire. Because trust me, when we are constructing this company, that's why it has a new prototype. It's not a technology you're going to find on market. It has my specifications and have people who are working on the construction of the machinery. They have to follow my quotations. First and foremost, when you're having a fuel company, all fuel companies and all whatever entities that are dealing with fuels, one, you must encounter something what we call fire outcomes. Fire can blow at any time. The industry can go on fire. But trust me, right precautions, right technology, rare we see petrol stations blowing up. First and foremost, fire, because we are dealing with fuels. Yeah. So precautions. When we are in this company, whoever will work in this company, I'm recruiting personnel. Take a look at this. They have to wear PPEs. Sorry to say, but you have gone to companies where they say that they wear PPEs. But let me tell you, they wear because a government official is coming. But have you ever gone there in the free time? Do you see the people working in that environmental condition? That's why we are forced to give those people milk. We give you honey. We give you some kamani. Why? Take a look at this, because life there is deadly. Anytime somebody dies, you get. But we have challenges according to this project. But although I have measures that I've already put in place to control that, in case they do come, actually they have not happened because we are on the production stage. We are looking out forward to seek investors who can finance this thing, because we want to put it at a different level, at a higher level, where that not only are we eliminating plastic, but also we are providing a solution to the lack of enough fuel. So take a look at this. According to this project, one, fire is a major risk, so we have alarms. According to my setup of the industry and the scale, it has what we call, one, it has the alarms for fire, but also we have what we call pressure alarms. Pressure alarms, because we are dealing with a lot of pressure here. When I'm burning this thing, remember it is in an unenclosed chamber. Anytime it can explode up. So if we don't, in order to prevent that from exploding, we have what we call pressure alarms at every joint. That if there is any leakage, yes, it can cause pollution, but take a look at this. Whoever will invest in me, the company as itself, we are making losses, because the more gas it goes, the more money is going. So we make sure that there is no any leakage. And besides that, I wouldn't say that, but also we are employing. Wherever we shall put the company, trust me, we employ the local people. It gives back to the community. At the same time, it reduces, let me tell you, why are we having more government shops, the government hospitals? We have municipals at every district. These are all financed by the government. But have you ever tried yourself and asked, the most rampant diseases that we always get there, leave malaria, leave the common ones. But we have diseases such as, you can talk about cancer. Cancer has been, that's why we have even the cancer hospital in Mengo, whereby the government is trying to provide free cancer treatment, of which that you can't even get in their full capacity, but the government is trying. What if we clear the problem? Because we are providing the medication for the problem which has already arose. What if we go to the roots? We dig and remove the roots of the problem. Do you think we shall have more cancer issues?
Let's go to some of the sectors or the industries that will actually benefit from this innovation. There's one that you've already hinted at, one thing for sure, and that is the transport sector. What other sectors do you think will actually benefit from this?
Actually, there are many sectors that will benefit.
Specifically, this fuel can actually, you said it's tremendous.
I can't even. My God, it's a blessing.
And so because of it, generally it can do what any other normal fuel that we are conversant with can do.
It is the normal fuel you use in your car, but more advanced.
Yes.
Why? When you burn the normal fuel, like when you get the fuel from any petrol station, when you burn it, it gives off a black fume, because it's a crude oil product. Trust me. The carbon, the black soot you see, it's of carbon. Trust me, when you burn mine, it's not the same color you see. It's the same petrol running in your car, but when you burn it, it does not give you the black soot. You can be surprised that you may think it's gas. That there is a fume that comes off. I'm not saying that it does not have carbon emissions, but it is lower than. Because let me tell you, even the UN, we have had all these organizations, they're fighting on one single thing, solving the problem of climate. Right. How can we make the future be more safer than where we are? Trust me. Take a look at this. You told me the companies that can benefit from this. Actually, we have, I would say, the whole Uganda will be based on the same process. You'd ask me, Kato, how? Take a look at this. When we don't have fuel in the country, do you think the country can move? Yes, we want politics. We want the leaders. Let me tell you, a leader without, let me tell you, if you don't, what helps you to transport the food in the Kampala from the village? You must use we no longer use donkeys. You must use a car. All in all, if you want to move from here to Dubai, you must use an airplane. I produce petrol. I produce ethanol that we can use in our beverages. We can use in we can use in the medical world. We can use in many facilities. But I also use petrol. Petrol is for small engine cars, the ones which, for example, our Toyotas, our small cars. But also we have heavy-duty cars. Construction companies are using heavy trucks. We are also using trailers. Also, all those ones are taking. I also produce diesel, which can be used. But at the same time, take a look at this. In Uganda, we have the army. We have our own flight planes. We have the war jets. We have them here. But where do we buy the fuel? We buy the jet fuel outside. Uganda, I can supply the jet fuel. We have the bombardiers. Yes, we are providing money for maintenance. We are providing money for the full operation of these planes. But can we have our own supplying us with the petrol, with the jet fuel can be used? Here, take a look at this. We are trying to say people, go green. You turn away from using or burning of charcoal. But you're telling people, stop burning charcoal. Are you giving them an alternative? You are telling me, stop eating cow. What do you want me to eat? Instead of just telling me, okay, you want to remove borders, what are you giving in? You want to tell them, stop doing this, but what are you putting for me on the other hand? So for this case, as I'm concluding on this point, take a look at this. Yes, we want to tell the people, stop using charcoal, but let's use gas. But is there enough gas to supply the market? Kato, I'm coming with an alternative. Also, I'm providing the same gas. Take a look at this. There is another unique product I produce. At the end, when I'm burning this plastic, I don't get ash. I remain with what we call a black carbon. It looks like charcoal. That black carbon, you ask me, Kato, where do you use it? Take a look at this. The whole nation, they sat down in the UN, the UN committee sat down and agreed that there is no more using of coal. So you have your steel. But all countries have steel companies. But what do they use for purification of steel? You either use coal or you use electricity. And trust me, using electricity is the most expensive thing to use. Because let me tell you, the watts of Uganda are expensive. But besides that, also other countries have the expensive electricity. You can't use electricity to melt out a single bar of iron. So we are using, in the same process, instead of not using coal, which is toxic to the environment, and they burnt it, we use carbon black.
Okay. So Peter, you have this very, very good innovation, really, that's going on. You're not a one-man team, are you?
No, I'm not one-man team.
One-man team.
Yeah, we're a group of team.
You're a group
working
of
together.
People
yes.
working together. Tell me more about your collaborations and how your future plans in making this really work.
According to my team members, I have a bigger group of a team that I'm working. Although I'm the CEO, the flag bearer. One, I'm working with I have chemists I'm dealing with, and I also have the marketeers, those who are trying to market this project. Because first and foremost, trust me, it's a new technology.
It is.
And everyone gets enticed with this technology, but no one is willing to support it.
And you will need definitely support and collaborations.
Exactly. Because trust me, why we are coming to these media persons, why we are coming to the world, we are trying to find a way. Can somebody come up and see the solution the problem we are solving? Can somebody see the product? If you want to say that you want to see the product, please come and I give it to you. Take it for testing. And you verify and compare according to the one which is on market. Give it a try. Let's solve the problem of the environment. You and other companies, those big broad companies, please come on board. Let's work together. In this committee, I have a different personnel. We have those ones who are dealing with the environmental concern. Because trust me, it is a new project. I can't tell you that there is nothing has only the good advantage and has no disadvantage. But so far, trust me, we are trying to discover the disadvantage in this project in the community. We haven't discovered one. We have tried to check on the emissions of the gases. Trust me, they are low. They are low compared to the normal ones, which we are trying to fight. Pollution, we are solving the pollution. You are talking about the bills of high expensive fuels. I'm giving you an alternative. Same fuel, more improved, environmentally friendly, but at a cheaper cost. At the same time, you'd ask me, what is the feasibility of this project? Yes, you have the team members, but are you seeing the future of this company? And my question is, we have had policies where we say we are eliminating plastic. Do you think, Nora, plastic will be eliminated totally in the whole world? It is impossible. We are always trying to move this bill. We are moving this bill. But trust me, all things we use, we can never have total elimination of plastic. Because let me tell you, it is the cheapest thing we can use for packaging things. But yes, let's produce more plastic, but let's also have a measure of removing the one which we have already used, the waste.
Right.
Because the more companies we are having more companies producing plastic, producing beverages, producing sodas, producing what, but we are not having companies to control this. We are having companies which are just storing rubbish. Right. The KCCAs, the what, but you're having no way.
So, Peter, where exactly are you right now in terms of processes of making the innovation actually work? When we talk about processes, we're talking about things like licensing and getting it out there to be legally accepted.
Because this is a billionaire, it actually is a billion project. Yeah. I can't just leave it on a lingering stage. Sure. First and foremost, I've patented it. And we are working on a bill to make sure that we get the license to start manufacturing. Trust me, a license, you can't get it in a night. Right. However much you have a good project. Because they have to analyze some critical errors. There is what you see and also there's what they also see. But trust me, on this project right now, we are basing at Chambogo University, and I'm so privileged for Chambogo giving me an opportunity to have this be done in their laboratories. And that's why I'm doing it from, and I thank the Vice Chancellor for giving me an opportunity. Besides that, because we are looking at an industrial scale, we are looking, if we have an investor, the government, because let me tell you, investors are individuals. Individuals have errors. But the government is us. Government is me and you, is everyone. If the government comes out, let's support the idea. Let's support the innovation. Let's, instead of saying you taking bed covers, taking mattresses for those who have lost their young ones, why can't we why can't we save those lives before they are lost? Because trust me, I can put it anywhere according to the investor, where the government will want me to put, because it's the financer. Whoever will want to come up, if the UN is coming on board, I'll be glad. Whoever wants on, let's make the money, but not only making the money, our aim, we are solving the environmental problem. Besides that, I can put it anywhere. So far I haven't yet, I have the lay map, I have the map, and I have the structure of how the factory has to look like, the specifications of all the materials and the equipments I need, how much we need to construct either both a mini scale or a larger scale. I have all the parameters set with and all my paperwork. Just waiting for a person to come. We have to sit down, agree, and make signatures.
Nice. Now let's talk a little bit about the future.
The future.
Where do you see this going in the next 5 10 years? Where do you see this innovation? Wow. If it takes on in the right way, where do you see it actually, and how do you see your company grow?
Actually, according to my company, it has a future prospect. First and foremost, we are not seeing here. We are seeing ahead. You'd ask me, Kato, what do you mean? Take a look at this. Try to imagine every country had a measure of having such a company. Let me say, if we had a branch in every company, of course those investors will come on board. They'll have to benefit from that. That is money. But take a look at this. If we have in every country that we have a branch which has this pyrolysis project, because that is what I can call it in a layman to package it up. But if we have this company, not only are we solving the environmental challenge, the problem all over globally, which is cancer, which comes from pollution, global warming, but at the same time, we are providing an alternative solution. Because we have had years where fuel went low. Actually, the petrol became so expensive because this is why. It was so scarce. The minings are getting dry every day. Plastic cannot go anywhere, because we can never have a single day that a company is not making any plastic. First and foremost, that is the visibility. We can do this often and often. First and foremost, not only my company or the project, the science I'm using, not only does it work on the plastic. Try to imagine if the president of Uganda gives me this opportunity to construct this company. That means in every district in Uganda, we can put a branch which can collect for us the plastic. But trust me, let's say there is a possibility that a truck which is coming from Masaka, it has broken down, but it's the one which was meant to supply us today. Because trust me, the company has to run daily. Because every day we don't go, that is money going. Trust me. But at the same time, we are not solving the problem. So we must make sure that we run day and night to make sure that the problem is solved. But take a look at this. If plastic is not available, we have had cars in Uganda. And my problem is, have you ever seen a dustbin where we have a lot of waste car tires? We have had these things, but it's not so much common. But when they get these car tires, because in Uganda we are kind of creative. But trust me, we have a dustbin of waste car tires. Where do we put the waste car tires? Other than burning it in the environment? Because we have tried to make shoes, but how often do we wear these shoes? Because let me tell you, people who are trying to wear leather shoes, we no longer wear rubber. People are trying to get advanced. So where are we seeing that market? Trust me, if I don't use the plastic, I use the waste car tires. But also we have engine oils. First and foremost, we take our cars, our motorcycles to these repairing sites. My question is, the government knows where it pours the used oil. But have we ever had an opportunity to know where this oil is poured? But in the same innovation, if I don't use plastic, I use waste car tires, but also I use engine car oils. So in the absence, let me say in a shortage of where plastic, that let's say we have finished plastic in Uganda in 5 years' time. Let me tell you, we have the neighboring countries also have plastic. We can help them to remove the problem. We can help East Africa to become a one. We can help Africa at large. We can help the whole world to deal with this plastic. Trust me, plastic cannot get done in a year in the whole world because we can start importing it. We are helping countries. Actually, they will be giving us actually without even a cost. They will give us their plastic, actually even paying us because we are solving the problem. But at the same time, we sell them our fuel. Besides that, I can also use engine car oils. We have these deposits of engine car oils. Where do we pour this oil? I get the same oil, use it in the same process, give you the same product with zero elimination.
Very nice, very nice. Peter, it has been nice having you, really, and we wish you all the best. Finally, just give us your last remarks, what you want people to know out there.
Yeah, first and foremost, I would like to give this opportunity, and I will take this opportunity and thank the Almighty, because you asked me a question when I was starting. Katoa, how did you get this innovation? Trust me, it is right to say, but I dreamt it. Because let me tell you, we have to tell the truth. I never went and I said I did this, I did that. First and foremost, getting the innovation, I dreamt it. That's why I'm saying the Holy Ghost. I'm a born again. And trust me, I believe in it. But besides that, I want to thank my group of company of people I've been working with. Chambogo University at large, the Vice Chancellor. Thank you, Eli Katunguka. And the departments, the Dean of Faculty of Science. My brother, my twin brother actually is the brain behind, is working on there, is called Waiswa Paul. My parents, those who have been mentoring me, everyone who has been on this project, I cannot mention everyone, but please thank you. All in all, I'm thanking Uctv for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. I wish to see you again. Come, we work on this thing.
Well, thank you so much, Peter. Really, it has been really nice, and we look forward for your company to grow, and we look forward to this actually, turning up the way we want it to turn up. Well, it has been nice. We have seen Peter Kato, who is actually very innovative, and he hopes to solve the problem of plastics. He's given us the nitty-gritties, the vision, the detail of his innovation, and we hope that whatever it takes, that actually this innovation will really come to see the light of day. We hope that so many young people out there will come up with different innovative programs that will solve society problems one way or the other in the various sectors, because this is what the government is calling for, actually, innovations. And surely it has been nice having you. I'll see you again next Sunday. For now, do have yourself a wonderful evening and have a blessed week ahead. I am Nora Sende.
I remain Kato Peter. Have a good day.